Welcome, welcome, welcome to Science of Mind 103. This is class 7 at Center for Spiritual Living, Asheville. It is Monday, April 15th, 2019, in the time and space where I believe I am. And we always begin with treatment, so we have 5 people coming up to take their places and treat us in.
I'm going to release.
I'm going to do gratitude this time.
Yeah, Steve gets the camera. Yeah, Steve gets to do photography.
So the question is, we always begin the treatment with what is our purpose? So what is our purpose? What do you want treatment for?
Clarity.
Clarity, unity,
Abundance.
and abundance. Clarity, unity, and abundance. Can you remember that, or should I write them down?
We're good.
Clarity, unity, and abundance.
Abundance.
Okay, so you're gonna be step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're going to include clarity, unity, and abundance, clarity, unity, and abundance, affirm, realize clarity, unity, and abundance, thankful for clarity, unity, and abundance, and you're releasing somehow with clarity, unity, and abundance. Okay, and we're on.
It is divine light, divine essence, that is everywhere, in every moment, always ready, willing to co-create this life with us, this life that is clarity, that is unity and abundance. And it is everywhere, within each and every person, place, thing, all of creation.
And I am one with that because I am in unity with that oneness, as is everyone in the sound of my voice in unity in that oneness, because we are all one. We are all that spirit. And I am clear on this because I have clarity on this, and those in the sound of my voice have clarity on who they are too, that they are one with all of us. And I have abundance of all types, abundance of knowledge, abundance of financial wealth, abundance of relationships, and abundance of health.
And I know that this class, these teachings, this learning, this unification flows easily, effortlessly, and with perfect clarity. I know that this wisdom is unity. And I know that because there's perfect unity, because there's only one, there can only be abundance. And there is only abundance.
And I am so grateful for this clarity that we know who we are, that we know we are the power in our own lives, and that we celebrate this with each and every one that we meet in our daily lives. And I am so grateful for the unity that we present here, to where we recognize that everyone is one with all that is, not just me, but you and you and you, everyone. And I know that abundance is God in action, and money and love and kindness and joy, all of the things that we have abundance in by being who we are, by knowing and stepping into our power and living from this place of oneness. I am so grateful.
And we release this wonderful clarity, abundance, and unity into the world, knowing it is beneficial to all. And so it is.
So it is. Thank you, everybody. Good job.
Now, when I said the you, we've got a,
I like people not to say you,
yeah,
because when you say you, you've gone from cosmic to personal, and you've gone out of treatment into conversation.
What would you have used instead?
I guess it would just be everyone. you
Right.
know.
All of us,
All of us,
everyone.
everyone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'll put this homework back. So tonight is the review, the general summary, review of basic principles, triune nature of God. But before we get started on that, who has a treatment demonstration? RJ,
Do I stand up?
Jim, come up here, come up here.
Well,
Claim your power.
I wasn't, we want to make it 2 weeks ago, last week, but 2 weeks ago, I was prayer partner with Jack Rowe, and we were talking about our income tax. And he was very interested in figuring out how he could give more to his spiritual communities and groups like that financially, at the same time understanding the tax laws. So we both did spiritual mind treatment on that. What we found was, by working with it, that were certain areas which I thought we could use for carrying over taxes, which we could, but we did find out that there's a way to use your IRA when you reach the age of 70 and a half to take directly from that and donate it directly to a nonprofit or a charitable organization. So I felt within a couple of days we had results from our spiritual mind treatment together. I can't use it for 5 years, but still I thought it brought something important to me in terms of, you know, manifestation of those spiritual mind treatments that we did together.
Good, thank you. And remember that you are dealing with spiritual law when you give, when you tithe, and that there is no human law or IRS law that can hurt you, no matter what they change the tax laws to, when you're dealing with spiritual law. Because when you're dealing with spiritual law and you give, it's gonna come back to you multiplied abundantly, so it doesn't matter that you can't take that off your taxes. Pay taxes on it. You got a tenfold return over here, and you're in a 35% tax bracket over here, so you're gonna pay your 35% because you just got tenfold back. And then you're gonna pay your 35% on that tenfold return. Yeah, so good, good. Who else has a treatment demonstration? Pegasus, come on up. Yay!
I've been asking for treatments to stay focused on my art and to come up with some ideas so that I can teach classes and have a variety of classes instead of just one thing. And I've been having so much fun with that and going on YouTube and learning new things and new techniques that I'm gonna start playing with. And so I'm really excited about all the possibilities that are gonna be.
This is a treatment for you or someone treated you?
I've treated for it and people have treated
And people
for
have
me.
treated you. Okay,
Yes.
wonderful. Yay,
Yes.
thank you. Hey, Brian.
Hey, sorry, I'm late.
Don't be sorry. Be on time, but don't be sorry. Sorry is a bummer. Treatment demonstrations?
Not that I can think of offhand.
Stephen? Well, I have some, but I can't share because of that old confidentiality thing, so just know that my life is working really well. Ophia?
Should I go up there?
Sure, come on up, come on up. A little energy moving in this room.
And I haven't kind of put all this thought into it, but you handed back my treatment that I wrote a couple weeks ago, and just looking at it, I realized that I have had demonstration from that with the clarity and awareness of our oneness, and it's been surprisingly clear and connected, and it's awesome. So,
Good, yay.
so.
Yay. Anybody else? Okay, we are moving into the summary of, what is this a summary of? We're almost at the end of the teaching part of the book. General summary, it is. It's pretty much the end of the teaching lessons in the book. So what we want to do is we want to look at some of the things that we've learned over the past few months. And one of the things that we're going to use as a talking tool is your page 53 and 54. And I'm going to draw the teaching symbol on the whiteboard in my wonderful artistic flair. And this particular teaching symbol does not have the little loop on it, so it's just a place to put the words.
Now, can I ask just a question real quick in regards to the teaching symbol here? It doesn't have a line through the top. Is there a reason for this doesn't have a line?
Nah, it's just, if you want to spend more time and make it prettier.
Oh, well, I didn't know if there was a reason that it was.
No, there's no reason, Breezy,
Okay.
it's just, that's the way I draw. You get stick figures and lines. So, they gave you some words, and we're gonna look at where they are in the teaching symbol and why they are there. This was your homework, so you should be very familiar with it. The first one is spirit. Open up the book too. This is in the book on page, I don't have pages, 568, 569, 570, metaphysical chart number 1, number 2A, 2B, and 3. So spirit goes on the top. Why is spirit on the top?
It is, it's consciousness.
Well, why isn't spirit on the bottom?
Because that's body physical.
Why isn't spirit in the middle? I thought spirit was everywhere. Why are you making me crazy? Why'd you put spirit in the top?
Because we wanted to tick you off.
Because this teaching symbol is a description of the flow of creation. So at some level, even though there is no time and space in here, it is a timeline of creation. So spirit creates through law, manifesting into form. And so spirit starts it all off. This is the beginning of this particular teaching visual aid, Ophia.
I've still been kind of playing with the understanding of pantheism, panentheism difference, and just looking at this, it kind of made me think of, like pantheism would be if, you know, the entire thing was all powerful kind of thing, and panentheism is where the spirit is coming down into body but can pull back.
Well,
And
it's
kind
not
of
that it
recreate-
pulls back, it's
but,
that
like,
it's more
can
than.
change it, like.
Pantheism would be just the body. You'd have spirit here,
Okay.
spirit, law, body, all down here in physical form, because pantheism says God is everything. Isn't that great? But everything, thing is form. Thing is in the body. It's the manifestation, it's the effect. And panentheism says God is everything and more. So this you have time and space. Terrible. Time-space continuum. Actually, it's a space-time continuum. So all of time and space is up there. Spirit is beyond time and space. All of physical form is down here. Spirit is beyond physical form. So spirit is absolutely in everything, but is not limited to thing. That's why you are a point that opens. Let's say this is you, Ryan. Put a big smile on your face. You are that point of manifestation of spirit, but look at where you go. You go beyond time and space, beyond spiritual law, into things that we can't even fathom because they're not in a thing. And all we can think about really is something related to thing. So panentheism is that spirit is beyond our concept of even form, even universe layers, even other dimensions. Spirit is beyond that. Spirit is beyond the beginning, beyond the ending, and it just keeps going on and on and on. Except on and on and on is a place. So it's even out of that realm. RJ.
I'm struggling with time and space being in the middle and not the bottom.
You're right, it's down here. You're absolutely correct.
Unless it's a medium.
Yeah,
No.
I could
For
see
the
that
manifestation.
too, yeah.
No, don't make it right. It's not. It was wrong. So the next one is creative medium. Where's the medium? Why is it in the middle?
Because it says meeting.
That's funny, Breezy. What is a creative medium?
Thought.
Pardon me?
Thought.
No, thought is in the top.
So it's like the soil that the creative seed of thought grows into. And then
So-
the body.
So the middle is the soil, it's the medium, and creative is like it's nurturing and giving and has energy and allows it to grow. Where does it end up growing?
Yeah.
Into the bottom.
In here, down here, in physical form. This is also called the unformed substance. It's like something, but it's not in thing form. It's a, It's a law, it's a creativity, it's a substance that is not substantial. It's ether, it's energy, that kind of thing. So what about law? Where's law?
Law
Right,
is
right.
right there, right there, law.
Is that affecting the camera?
That's
Is it going on and off?
Camera's on battery.
Okay. Where is conscious mind?
Top and spirit.
Why is it in the top?
Because, you, when you're conscious, you know that there's more than just your body and
Conscious mind, because thought is up here. Thought is the beginning of creation. Thought moving through law equals a demonstration, a manifestation form. Conscious mind has the ability to think. So, you know, in this model, which is certainly not the end-all be-all description of how creation works, but in this model, then there's choice, there's volition, there's thought, there's an ability to say at a God level and at an individual level, at an absolute level and at a relative level, I'm going to think this. So whatever God is, you know, it said, I'm gonna think expansion, physical form, light, motion, attraction, repulsion, those kinds of things. At some God level, there was a choice to think that. God is not unconscious, or else everything else would be unconscious. So everything is conscious. So at our level, as we reenact this same circle on our individual level, we get up in the morning and we go, what kind of a thought am I going to think today? What kind of a day am I going to have? What am I going to choose to focus on? Because I know that whatever it is I focus on, I create. So there's a level of consciousness in terms of being conscious, awake, aware at that upper level. So then where would a subjective mind be? If this is conscious mind,
in the law,
where's subjective mind?
in the middle.
Why is that?
It's because that is, the, how do you say that?
The law
I don't know how to
is
describe it.
subject to. So the law does whatever conscious mind tells it. So if our conscious mind says, you remember that Saturday Night Live skit called Bad Idea Genes? And these guys would just do stupid stuff because they had all these bad idea genes. And they would have many bad ideas. So the law doesn't say, no, this is a really bad idea. I'm not going to manifest it for you. The law can't, because it is subject to conscious thought, whether it's on a universal level or whether it's on the relative level of each one of us. If we start focusing on something, we're going to set law in motion and we're going to get it. That's why it's so important to be mindful of what we focus on so that we get what we want to get and not what we didn't want to get, what we just allowed ourselves to obsess on. So that's subjective mind. And then we've got universal subjectivity, which is pretty much the same thing. Do you remember when we talked about race consciousness?
Mm-hmm.
All the thoughts and experiences that have ever been had by anyone on the planet. And if it's out of time and space, then it's ever has been, ever will be. It's not a race of people. It is the human race, the consciousness of the human race. And where is that?
Same place, law.
Right up in here. So you've got race consciousness. And here we are but we are impacted by race consciousness because we are universal on the subjective side of life, even though we are individual, or it looks like we're individual on the physical plane. So anything that anyone has ever experienced, we are impacted by. So wars and famines and saber-toothed tigers and diseases and volcanoes erupting and all of that impacts us. And so if we become lazy in monitoring what we're thinking about and what we're focusing about, we don't do our spiritual practice anymore, we don't come to Center for Spiritual Living anymore, we don't read, uplifting books or listen to good music, all of a sudden a lot of people start going downhill, and they don't even know that they're going downhill because they're creating the outpicturing of those limiting thoughts, and so then their world becomes a limited world, so their limited thoughts seem perfectly appropriate. Somebody comes here with all these limiting thoughts, and we go, no, you don't have to do that, you don't have to have those. You can think a different thought and create a different reality. It doesn't matter how deep in it you are, you can still change it. But left to people's own devices, often they will abandon what they know to be true. I don't understand it. You know what a good teacher I am. How in the world can someone be my student for years and years and years and then come in and just have forgotten everything I taught them? Just forgotten it. It's amazing to me. That's because of race consciousness. It'll start working on you.
I'm going to talk in time and space, that race consciousness is actually created. You first have that creative medium, and then by human beings experiencing things, they overprinted race consciousness on top of creative medium. Is that why it's in the middle, not the lower?
No, it's in the middle because it's outside of time and space. This is also the area of intuition. That's out of time and space. Someone can have a child in a car accident 3,000 miles away from them, sit bolt upright in bed in the middle of the night and know something's wrong. That accident took place down here. The intuition is in here, where there's no time and space. So race consciousness is up there because it goes all the way back to the beginning of time and before. And what I like is you've also got in your pocket all of the advances, all of the breakthroughs, all of the peace that we have. We live in a much more peaceful time today, no matter what it looks like on TV, than we ever have in recorded history. So what's that going to look like 5,000 years from now? If we're being impacted by the saber-toothed tiger of the caveman, then we've also got to be being impacted by the temples and the peace communities, and the abundance and prosperity. I've watched enough Star Trek to know that there are planets like that. We're going to have to get there, so we have access to that also. It's not just bad stuff is in race consciousness. But if we don't monitor what we put in here, then we will get down here whatever our stinking thinking comes. And so if we say our life stinks, it's because our thinking stinks. So in here, I'm just going to leave that alone. Where is cause?
In the middle.
Yeah.
No.
I would think top.
What is first?
Cause.
What comes before effect?
Cause.
So cause is in the top,
Okay.
and where is effect?
The bottom.
Effect is down here, and this is law. It's creative medium. It's unformed substance. It is the action that takes cause and turns it into effect. So your thought is up here. God's thought is up here. Whatever God's thought would be is up here. And then down here are the conditions in our lives, the manifestations in our lives. It's how much money we've got. It's how much love we've got. It's how much happiness we've got, all stemming from the thoughts that are going on up here. A perfect thought will create a perfect effect, unless we get in the way and mess it up. So we do spiritual mind treatment in the morning, listen to Oprah and Chopra, do our meditation, everything is great. we do our treatment, we know that today's a happy day, today's the best day ever, that everything unfolds with prosperity and health and wholeness and joy, and that things fall together and the universe is supportive of everything that my intention is on, and my intention is clear, and then we go out into our world and we get mad. Somebody cuts us off in traffic, and we give up our entire future for a position on a roadway. How crazy is that? Or the dog barks, or we didn't have as much gas as we thought, or whatever. And we give up on that whole creation of the day, and then what we get is a sad face. We get a sad face because we got in the way. If we had stayed, I did a wonderful talk once called Staying Clear in the Gap. It's great, you could look it up, it's really one of my better talks. How do you stay clear in the gap from creation to demonstration? How do you hang on when you're knowing and it hasn't shown up yet? Those are the times to be vigilant. And that's the time when so many people give up and they fall backwards and say, oh, it's just too much work to be happy. It's just too much work to be rich. It's too much work to be successful. I'm just going to give up and sit on my pity pot. And then we get a life that falls apart instead of a life that comes together. So when we have a perfect cause, when we're clear, when we're in that treatment and we know that we know, it is our job not to screw it up, because it will demonstrate a perfect demonstration unless we get in the middle of it. It's like planting a seed, going outside and digging it up. Have you sprouted yet, little seed? Let me just beat on you a little bit and let you sit out in the sun for a little while. Okay, put you back in there. Well, my seed didn't sprout. Didn't sprout because you beat it up, you dug it up, you pulled it out, and you looked at it. You pulled it out of its natural environment where it was doing great because our insecurity needed some kind of reaffirmation that this was demonstrating, because we didn't have enough faith to just hold on to our own knowing. That's what's so important in this teaching, is that we get from here to here without digging it all up, without letting race consciousness in, which means that when we tell one of our relatives that we've gone into business for ourselves and they say, well, that's a stupid thing, 4 out of 5 businesses die in the first year and blah, 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 will never happen, then we can't let that into our creation. And so if we have done a spiritual mind treatment and we begin to doubt it for whatever reason, what do?
Say it again.
What?
Negate it. Treat
No,
it.
but what do? You treat it again.
Yeah.
You negate, you deny the denial that everything is all messed up. No, that's not true. Everything is not all messed up. Everything is fine. The universe is still working on my treatment. My treatment was a great treatment. I knew that. For that matter, I know that. There's a part of me that knows that, and I know that I know it, and I'm clear, and I'm strong, and I'm going to go back there instead of going, oh, well, I guess I should just throw everything away and go live in a garbage hut somewhere because my family of origin told me that I'm not going to be the exception and be able to create success. No, don't do that. And if you find yourself doing that, pull yourself out, call your treatment partner, call me, email me, do something that you need to do to get yourself back on course, because a perfect thought can only create a perfect demonstration. And so once you have that clear, perfect thought, nothing in heaven or earth can stop you but you. And so that's the importance of disciplining our thought, being able to think the thoughts that we want to think, to feel the feelings that we want to feel, and then to practice that. Why in the world do you think we do today's a happy day? Because I want you to be happy. I want you to know how to be happy, not just for a couple of minutes, but all day long. And then I want you to know how to be happy tomorrow. And then the day after that, the day after that, the day after that. That's your job, is to be happy. Your job is to be wealthy. Your job is to be powerful. Your job is to be successful. Your job is to live in joy and peace and love. That's your job. Other people think that you've been put here on earth to toil and to, we were thrown out of the Garden of Eden, so we're gonna live by the sweat of our brows and all of that. That's a crock. Our job is to be so clear in our thought process that we experience amazing lives and nothing can stop us but us. So if we find ourselves starting to stop ourselves, or maybe we've gone way down the road to stop ourselves, it's time to get back to that point. And once you think that thought, that perfect thought, that really clear thought, it can never leave you. It can never leave you. You were there. You knew it. And that means that knowing is always there. You can cover it up, you can pretend it's not there, you can run and hide, but it's always going to be there. You knew that. You knew it, it was real, and that can never be taken away from you. So your job is to get back into alignment with it. One of the things that I love about this teaching is that it is for believers, that you get what you want by believing it. And we can go back to Jesus. It's almost Easter. We'll do a little Jesus. When you pray believing that you have received, you shall receive, and not a moment before. You can pray and believe that you haven't received. You can pray and believe you don't deserve to receive. You can pray and believe that it'll never happen, and you'll never get it. You've got to get to a point of believing. The cool thing is that you don't have to get to 100%. Let's not be ridiculous here. All you need to get to is 51. You don't need to get to 100%, you just need to tip the scales a little bit. And that's why we have help with each other. That's why we have practitioners that can help us tip it a little bit. I've often had people come to me and they've had what people would call, real problems. Like the doctor gave them 3 months to live. Like they're losing everything. The person they thought they were going to live with for the rest of their life, they just moved out and told them they were no good, or whatever. But these people would be calling, these are real life problems. And they've said, I can't believe that it's going to be okay. Well, of course you can't. You wouldn't have come to see me if you could have. So the very fact that we have practitioners acknowledges that sometimes people need help. And I would say, can you believe that I believe? Oh yeah, you're Barbara Waterhouse. I believe that you can believe, of course. So great, that's all you need to do in that tip them. All you need to do is believe that I know that you're healthy, that everything's working out, that you're safe, that you have everything that you need to do whatever it is you need to do. And we have had people just based on, I can believe that Barbara Waterhouse knows this for me, have cancers disappear, diagnoses change. I love it when the doctors say, well, we just don't know what happened. There must have been a mistake in the lab, or the original diagnosis must have gotten mixed up with some other sick person because this person is no longer sick. A perfect thought creates a perfect manifestation. And it's really easy for me or you treating for someone else to hold that and to know, well, of course you're healthy and whole. You're God in form. Of course you are. There's no doubt in my mind about it. To be able to hold that and then to have someone simply know that there is someone in this world up here in cause, not getting in the way of their perfect thought and the perfect demonstration, and then they align with that and jump on the bandwagon and say, the doctor said there's nothing there. Or like my sister, they did the surgery anyway and said there was a tumor yesterday, we took an x-ray on it, we cut you open today and there is no tumor the next morning. Just gone, just like that, over and over and over again. So our job is to stay vigilant in our thought process and to not let us be swayed by things that happened in the past, by what other people think of us, or by world conditions, but to be able to keep our thoughts so clear that all of heaven and earth come together and they create what people call miracles day after day after day after day. It's wonderful. The only thing that we have to work with is thought. but by working with thought, we get to work with the power of all of creation. The power of the entire universe is at our beck and call when we learn how to think the thoughts that create the life that we want to live. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You need to have feeling in this. You need to feel like it's so. Have you practiced feeling what you want to feel?
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel?
When I do my treatments and stuff nowadays, I get so excited and so happy and everything, it brings me to tears. And I am just know that everything is exactly as I am choosing it to be.
Wonderful. So much happiness and joy that you cry.
Yes.
Has anybody had a time where things were going not the way you want them? Perhaps there was some anger coming up, some frustration, some feeling victimized, some overwhelm, and you stopped yourself and said, no, I'm not going to feel these feelings, I'm going to feel something different. And what happened? What?
Felt better.
You felt better, and how did things work out?
Great.
Much better, much better. People don't realize that they have control of their feelings. They think that feelings just happen. And it was way back with rational emotive therapy. I forget who the guy was, the psychiatrist or psychologist or whoever. No, Skinner was behavioral psychology. So this is rational emotive therapy, and what they proved is that you have a thought right before you feel a feeling. That thought may be so fast that you don't even think it consciously, but that you think it, you decide to have the feeling. This situation is set up to where it meets my story and my belief system that I'm going to get hurt. So I'm going to immediately go into fight or flight, and I'll choose to get angry and defensive right now, and then after a minute I'll crumble, because that's my pattern, and I'll choose these feelings, but it happens so fast that we look around and all of a sudden we're in it. Because we thought the thought, chosen the feeling, fight or flight, you get very defensive, you get very reactive, you get very angry, and then everything just implodes and people fall apart, because they've gone from fight to flight. And people don't realize that they can stop that at any moment and choose to feel another feeling. It's a really good exercise. When you find yourself feeling things that you don't want to feel, go ahead and make yourself be happy. Make yourself be happy. Brian Byro has a great example. He says, first of all, I'm going to stay in my view, you stand up straight, you look up, you put a smile on your face, and you move, even if you're hating it. You do it just like that. He says that those are all neuro-linguistic programming techniques that do not allow that feeling to continue moving through your system. I've used it to break a fever. Get up out of bed, stand up straight, look up, smile, and move. And before you know it, things are going great, because somehow it just changes everything, and you are in control of how you feel. And if you're feeling particularly clear and strong, you may want to even go the other way. When you're feeling great, just notice, give yourself this as an exercise. Don't do it very long, but get mad about something. And then pull yourself back. And be happy and filled with joy. Feel how victimized you could be. And then move into your power. And what you're doing is you're teaching yourself how to pick and choose the feelings that you want to feel. It's very important. I did a talk a week ago on taking your power back. How do you take your power back? You better learn how to take it back, because sooner or later you're going to lose it. And if you've never taken it back before, then you're going to be really caught up in the emotion of it all and need to take it back. How do you think actors do that? They generate the feeling and they feel it for the part. I question some roles that people take because it's got to be really difficult. We used to have a singer here, Laura Fachapanti Bond, and she teaches at UNCA Drama Department and teaches students how to feel different feelings at will. It's a very powerful quality to have so that you can decide what you want to feel. Sometimes it's appropriate, I'm just digressing here. If you want to get someone's attention and they're having a certain feeling, you can get their attention by matching that energy. If someone's having a feeling and you're having a very not energetic thing, often you'll never get their attention. And I've seen it happen with people who are really angry, that the only way to get their attention is to match their anger, but you've got to do it consciously so that you don't actually get angry. Because if you get angry, now you're hooked. But for you to be able to match that energy, all of a sudden, that person can hear you. And I did it yesterday with someone who was mad that they didn't get any cake. Not a totally evolved being, granted, it's a piece of cake. That they were mad that they didn't get any cake. And I got right up in their face and said, I didn't get any cake either. Oh, totally dropped it. Well, I said, and next month, we're gonna have 2 cakes. But I did it with that intensity. They heard me, it was a matched energy, I was in total control. I wasn't mad that I didn't get any cake, but I used that energy. They heard me, we connected, and they dropped it. So being able to pick and choose the energy and the feelings that you use in your life is really important. If you want a race car, and you're afraid of going fast, then you're gonna want to learn how to choose that abandonment and freedom and acceptance of the drama and the risk of it all. You're gonna wanna learn how to choose that. Same as if you want to be in a relationship and you're terrified of somebody getting too close. You're going to want to be able to pick and choose being able to love someone and be intimate and open and just going for that to put in your treatment. Because if you do your treatment with fear or smallness, then that idea, that cause is afraid and small. And what's it going to manifest? Smallness and fear. Ophia.
That was just really cool to hear you say that about the practicing, but then also matching someone's energy, because it was like I realized that I do this, like, especially with teaching the kids or whatever, that I do that a lot, but I just hadn't, hearing it like explained was like, oh, now I can kind of apply it more. But yeah, so that's really cool. Thank you.
If someone is in pain and comes to see me,
Acknowledge.
and I go, oh, suck it up, cupcake, pull it together, then I have no connection. I may want to say that, but I have no connection with them. If I can empathize with them and make that connection, then I can lift them out of that by lifting my own energy and my own emotional state. So if I can control my emotions enough to not get lost in it, but to go into that pain and sadness and connect with someone, and I don't have to say anything, it's a feeling thing, and to connect with them, then I can start breathing and watch them start to match my breath, and I can start to bring them out of it instead of jumping down into it or just, scoffing at them. Well, what an unevolved person you are, you have feelings. No, we're human. And as much as this teaching is to be mindful of your feelings, to use your feelings, it does never say that we shouldn't feel things. I prefer that we not wallow in it, but to go into grief and sadness. One of our members, her husband died, and it's been like 3 months and she hasn't been back. I can't say, you really should be over him by now. That's absurd. People take as long as they take. It's their process. Everybody's in their perfect and right place. Everyone's on their path. Everyone is fine. And for us to connect at that level, we have to be skilled enough with being able to choose our thoughts and our emotions so that we don't fall into it, so we don't get sucked up by it and consumed by it, and now we're lost, but that we can use them and use them in a way to lift ourselves and anybody else that we're working with up. It's an important thing to learn. And people who believe that they have no control over their emotions, that belief serves them to not have to be responsible for their emotions. Mm-hmm. So let's not do that. Let's step up and be clearer than that. So, certain things that we do and certain things that we do not do. Hello. Huh. happens when we leave the caps off.
The one you were using is right there, it's on your book.
Same shit with preschoolers.
Okay, we don't wish. What do?
We know.
We know.
We know. What's the difference?
Wishing is kind of like hoping it's gonna come.
What is wishing
Knowing
and
is
hoping?
like, here, we have it.
Right, wishing is, for one thing, it's far away, it's separate. And knowing is here and now, and we have it. Big difference. We don't dream. What do? Plan. What else?
We do.
We do.
Follow the energy.
No, what do we do inside of us?
Inside of us. Again, we know.
Okay, we know. Do you ever know people that just were dreamers? They lived in a life that wasn't here. Ophia.
That's actually where, because dream is a very strong thinking, but I definitely see it as, like lucid dreaming, like actioning dream, not just,
No, I'm not talking about sleep dreaming.
yeah, no, I know, I mean, same, like,
One day.
the difference of, like, but yeah, just the difference of like, oh, kind of whatever, but not putting any, like, making it happen.
So do you ever know anyone who would say, one day I'm gonna do this, one day I'm gonna do that, someday I'm gonna do that? Well, that's far off, that's far away. Usually someday never happens until we claim it, until we live it, until we take it, until we do it, until we create it. So this is not about wishing or dreaming, how about hope?
I've never liked that word.
Do we hope? Oh, I hope it's gonna work out. What do?
We know.
We know.
Yeah.
Use no for all of
We
these.
know.
Belief.
Ask. Do we ask? Is a spiritual mind treatment an asking? Are we asking?
Claim.
We claim.
Claim.
What other words for this do you have? Because I still have people do spiritual mind treatments asking, and some of those are practitioners. It concerns me immensely. What other words do we not do?
Try.
Try. Oh, but I'm trying. So get all Yoda on me.
Right? Do or do not.
Don't
There's
try.
no-
Just do.
That's a do.
You know, we're showing the original Star Wars movie on May 3rd, right before the Star Wars Day, May the 4th be with you. So we're gonna show the first one in a galaxy far, far away.
Can I ask,
Dun, dun,
Wait, which first one?
dun,
You're talking
dun.
about episode 4?
Whatever the first one was,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
with
it's
Luke
episode
and
four.
Yoda and,
Episode four.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, Yoda's the.
Yeah, it's the second one.
Right.
so back to hope, okay, because I say this a lot when I'm texting, I hope you have a great day,
Mhm. I use
Hope
trust.
you're well.
Yeah.
Trust.
Trust.
I trust you're having a great day. I trust all is well.
Okay.
Because hoping is iffy. It may happen, it may not happen. I hope. Oh, I'm back on Star Wars. Oh, Obi-Wan, you're our only hope. Well, how did that work out?
I do hope.
Okay. We don't hold thought. How can you hold something in an energy, in a universe that's only energy and movement? How can you think a thought and then hold on to it, not let it go anywhere? The last step of treatment is letting it go, because you can't hold on to it. You gotta let it go. IBM took a picture of a thought leaving a brain 75 years ago, that thought is movement. Isn't that cool? They actually took a picture of a thought leaving the brain at this moment of synaptic transmission. Thought is movement. We don't hold it. So when I'm saying, well, I'm going to hold a good thought for you, I can't do that. That doesn't make any sense. What I can do is I can know, I can believe, I can have faith, I can trust, but I can't hold on to it. I can't put the brakes on the creative process. It's happening at lightning speed, faster than lightning speed. And so what we do is we know. Also, there is nowhere to send prayers. Prayers sent. The little prayer emoji. What? Where are you sending a prayer to? You know inside of yourself. Period. End of story. There's no heaven to send prayers to. There's no outside God to send prayers to. What is known at one point is known at every point. And truth known demonstrates instantly. Instantly.
So
Brian.
on that, again, I say, I tell people, sending love,
There's no place to send it to.
well, projecting, thinking of you
Thinking of you with love.
with love.
Yeah. Loving
So
you now.
sending you to, because you're thinking, you're sending them a thought.
No, you're not. There is no you and them. There is only that which is known at this point now. The practitioner treats the practitioner. That's why you don't say you in a treatment, because you want to think that it's me and you, but it's not. It's only me. And that which I know within myself, I can know for and about Brian, and it is known at the point of him. But I don't send it to him. There's no way to send anything. We can only know it inside of ourselves right now. And that's just fine-tuning language. So I'm not sending you love. I'm loving you. I'm thinking of you with love. I'm knowing that all is well. Yeah.
So in emails or something where you're, where somebody's talked to you about being something and you say, okay, I'm sending you love and light, instead you say, I know you are love and light, or I know this for you.
I know love and light for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Because really, and some people think I'm just a stickler, but the words are so important. I was at a meeting today and someone said, well, I haven't been able to get there for a couple of months. And I said, oh, come on, let's watch our words. You have chosen not to be here, and that's okay. You don't have to wash it down with, well, I couldn't, I'm a victim, and I couldn't get there. If somebody had a gun to your head, you would have been there. You chose not to be there, so take your power and know that it's perfectly all right for you to choose what it is you're going to do today. But that is empowering instead of disempowering. There's nowhere to send love and light to anybody. We know that person as a being of love and light because that's the truth of them. I see your radiance. I know I feel your love. All is well. Instead of I am full of this cool stuff, love and light, and I'm going to send some to you, poor slob over there who's having a rough day. That's disempowering. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Choose what you're going to do in life and then say, have your back. Maya Angelou said, I've got my own back. Have your back. You don't have to make excuses for yourself. We do what we do. We choose to be here. We choose to be somewhere else. They're okay. Both are okay. They're our choice. But if I say, oh, I couldn't do that because I had to do something else, I had no choice. What kind of a life is that? We have always total choice to do, to be, to have, whatever it is we are doing, being, and having. So stand up straight and tall and say, I just went to the tourist game because I wanted to, and I had a really good time. And we're not ashamed of ourselves, we're not guilty. These are our choices, but they come out in every little word that we speak. And so we've got to be mindful, because we'll have this kick-ass treatment in the morning, and then we'll feel guilty somewhere in the middle of it, between the perfect thought and the perfect manifestation, and we'll screw it all up. We could have had the business deal closed, we could have had the farm, we could have had whatever it was, except we got in the middle of it, demeaned ourselves with guilt and shame, made ourselves little, and the universe said, oh, I thought you wanted it all, now you don't want any of it. Okay, the most current thought is our most current treatment, so now you don't get any of it. I love this teaching. It gives us all the power. And it doesn't matter how badly we've screwed up before, there's only this now moment, we can always go back up to here. We can always go on this side of the line. We can always change it, and then no matter how much has been built up, it doesn't matter. One perfect thought, one absolute knowing, one clear, open acceptance of our good, and it blows away all of the other stuff. There is no karma, there are no dues to pay, there's nothing stacked against us. There's only this now moment, and it is complete with infinite possibilities, ours to pick and choose, from the great buffet of life. It's just up to us. We just have to be clear enough inside of ourselves to be able to have what we want to have in life, and to hold on to that thought from the top all the way to the bottom to where we hold it in our hands. And we have each other for that, so that we can just tip a little bit, but then once you start moving, like if you're flying and you tip a little bit, it's not going to start right here. It's not long before you start moving, and then you go, oh my God, it's working. But to get it going, all you need is a little bit, just a little bit. Questions?
No more, no words, I want.
Yeah, thank you. I want, I need it. I'm not complete without it. Want, need. What is the yes word?
I have.
RJ?
I am.
I am.
And I struggle with the word desire. Is
Yeah.
that a yes?
Have, let's go to have. Have. I have it. And I still have practitioners that want to put the word need in there, or people doing announcements. Oh, we need help. No, we don't. We do not need help. We have help, but we don't need help, because as long as we need help, we will always need it, and we will never have it. Do you have your hand up?
Can I figure it out? With the one, like, I have found that for me, like, if I'm replacing need with want, like, and kind of a get to, like, wanting to get.
Oh, jump, Ophia, just jump.
Okay.
You don't need anything, you're perfect, you have all of the universe inside of you now.
Yeah, if it's like, I wanna go on a hike instead, or like, that kind of thing, like, I wanna go on a hike, so
I'm going on a hike.
Like,
Yeah, I'm going on a hike.
mhm.
I feel like going on a hike. That doesn't have any lack. I'm going on a hike. But when we say I need this, I really need this, then we've completely gutted ourselves, because we're not whole and complete anymore until we have what we need. And if we say that about somebody else, then we're triggering off that weird human thing. You need me? Oh, watch me pull back. You can't have me. People call it love because they chase somebody. Neurosis. So take these words out of your vocabulary. Wish, dream, hope, ask, try, want, and need. Use words like know, plan, know, claim, do, I am, I have, I know, I do it.
Can you use require?
Why? What do you require? What do you require for your happiness and wholeness? How could anything be missing from you? There's nothing missing. You don't require anything.
Okay, good point.
Ophia.
There's one of my favorite Secret Asian 23 Skidoo songs, which is like a kid's hip hop and funk band based here. One of the lines is, you gotta, life is whatever you want, you gotta dream it first and then wake it up. So that's also, I was just also kind of thinking of like the dream thing, where it's like, it's that idea of more of like in the spirit, thought, cause, creation.
Sure,
and
sure.
then
You
wake it up.
imagine it
Yeah.
instead of dream it. You imagine it.
Mhm.
That was the idea of people who just are someday, I'll never actually take action on it, but I'll just hold it out there. Maybe if I win the lottery, I can have the life of my dreams. That's absurd. We already are perfect, whole, and complete. We have everything inside of us now. Nothing is missing, nothing is broken, nothing is wrong. And it is our job to stay in alignment with the truth of us that we have everything and we get to have everything and watch it fall into place. Boom, 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 boom. And people go, oh, you're so lucky. Luck my ass, we worked hard for this. Who else? Okay, that's your summary. We're gonna take a break, do treatment work, come back when we're done.
So you wouldn't wanna say, I've got your back, either, rather, I can, that's a very common phrase.
Yeah, what I say is I got my back. I've got
You
my
got
and I can have other people's backs, but I don't need anybody to have my back, because I got my own back.
Can we my treatment partner today?
Okay.
The textbook, you know, there's more pages, but really this is the end of the teaching aspect of the textbook. Science Blank 101, 102, and 103. We're gonna do a little Bible next time, a little teachings of Jesus and some of the Old Testament and the New Testament, and just explore that a little bit. I hope it doesn't turn you off, but there's some wonderful metaphysical
Is there-
teachings in that.
Is there a book that goes with that?
It's the textbook.
It is the.
Yeah, but the lessons have stopped.
Okay.
So, and I like Bible stuff. I'm actually very knowledgeable about the Bible, and there are some beautiful passageways, some wonderful stories that are very metaphysical, and people either like it or they don't. There are probably gonna be people who come into class because they like it, and some other people may say, no, I don't wanna hear it, you know, I don't come here for that kind of thing, but I think it's important to give the balance. We are not a Christian denomination. We're not. No way, no, not even close. But there are teachings in all of the, you know, Bible just means holy book, so there are teachings in all of the holy books that are very wise, and they've withstood the trials of time, and they're good things to learn, and they are more in story format.
And do you go through, like the metaphysical
Oh, yeah,
definitions of
I love,
some
well,
words?
it only makes sense if you interpret it metaphysically.
Thank you.
You know, and then you know that name means nature, so when Jesus said, pray in my name, it doesn't mean you say, and in Jesus' name we pray, it means that you are in the nature of the Christ, which knows, which can turn loaves and fishes into 5,000 and feed the multitude and pull the coin out of the fish's mouth and have a sense of oneness with the divine presence within us. And people have missed that. They say, all I have to do is say, in Jesus' name I pray, and then I'm not gonna burn in hell forever. So we'll go through all that stuff, and it'll be kind of fun and different. Again, we have class next week. You're bringing your spiritual philosophy. I'm not sure how long that will take, but we've got a little bit more reading for the summary, for the actual end of section summary that we can talk about. What are you gonna say, Peggy?
I was just, can you tell me what you mean by philosophy?
It's in your homework.
It's
It's
on
what you
page
said.
42, it's page 42
Oh,
of your workbook.
okay.
It's that little
Because
list
it
of
said
questions.
part,
Is that on
part
purpose?
one,
I
and I
know,
went back to one,
it's
and I'm
not
like,
there,
yeah.
it's not there.
You know what 42
It's on
is,
page
don't
42.
you?
Yeah.
What is 42?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
that's
how
where
your
it-
slides of the
It's the
galaxy.
ultimate answer to life, the universe, and everything.
42?
No,
Yeah,
They
well,
got-
well, that's from
And
Douglas
Douglas
Adams,
Adams.
that's from Douglas Adams.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the
But,
Galaxy.
the questions,
Famous book, movie.
the thing about the spiritual philosophy, the questions are on page 42 as opposed to class 1. Cause I looked for them in
Yeah,
class
this was
1.
last week's class, homework.
well, but in the book it says class one, and that's why.
Oh, I don't know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you have page
I
42 and
edited
page
this
56.
material so quickly, I rewrote half of it and erased a lot of stuff, because they want you to be child of God. You know, as a child of God with a loving Father. At any rate, we're back. So we'll have class next week, and then the very next day, John and I fly to the beach. Sally's gonna be speaking the last Sunday, and then we'll be back for first Sunday. But then the next Monday, my grandson walks across the bridge on our stage with hundreds of stout Baptists and Methodists, and I am so happy to get them in our center,
Wow.
so that we don't have any chickens that we're, you know, sacrificing, and we're not weird people. I think it could only do us good public relationships wise.
So do you
Why
happen to know the date of when the next group of classes starts?
6 plus 7 is
13.
13, May 13th.
Okay, May 13th is the next class, okay.
Right.
But so the 20th and 6th we don't.
What brought them, a group of Baptists gonna be walking across our stage? Is that-
No, the Cub Scouts, oh, you came in late.
This is
Okay.
about the
Explain this.
scouts.
The
They're doing
Cub,
the
the
Scout
Cub Scouts have a rite of passage into manhood. That is, they cross over from a Cub Scout to a Boy Scout. Now, they're not Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts anymore, they're Scouts. And even though there are, Girl Scouts, but not Girl Scouts. In western North Carolina, there has yet to be one that walked across from a Cub to a
Oh, okay.
Scout, and we're gonna have the first girl do that on our stage. She is in my youngest grandson's Cub Scout troop that my son has run since they were in kindergarten. And so they're graduating into Boy Scouts.
How old are they?
11, 12,
I didn't know what age.
how old is Noah?
I don't know, I think he's around.
So I've donated the center, they're gonna feed 250 people here in these 2 rooms, and then everybody's gonna go over into the sanctuary, and we're gonna have a videotaping of them and give them the complete video link so that parents don't have to push against each other and try to get their video of their
Nice.
kid. We're gonna, and hopefully we'll be able to Zoom by then, and we can zoom in on each scout as they walk, and they shake their hand and get their new kerchief, you know, and they're a man now, it's a very big deal.
What's the girl called? Because she's not a man.
She's still called a
Well,
Boy Scout.
She's a scout.
So for, starting May 13th is the next one, can I put that down as that's my 104?
Yeah,
Okay.
And how many weeks does it go?
takes us through the prosperity class, takes us through our next beach trip, whatever that is.
Oh, I was like beach trip, okay.
Because you said you went every 2 months.
Any other questions? I love you, thank you for coming out tonight, I don't know where everybody else is, but you're the perfect Durant people, so thank you. Take out what you're gonna get. And I know that we are points of abundance, living in an abundant universe. I know that the divine, infinite, absolute, self-existent cause, the love and the light of life itself, manifests itself as me, right here and right now. So as that point of God consciousness, I speak my word, commanding all of the power of creation into form. And I know for each and every one of us in this class that we are blessed, that we are rich, that we are healthy, we are perfect, whole, and complete in every way. And I know that we all have more than enough to do whatever it is we choose to do, whether it's money, whether it's time, whether it's opportunity, whether it's support, whether it's love, whether it's joy. We have more than enough. We are filled full to overflowing. And I know that as we give this gift tonight, we all demonstrate that prosperity and that abundance of life as us. And I know that this center prospers in every way. So with great gratitude for the blessings, for the prosperity, for the abundance, for the health and wholeness that we are, I simply release this treatment into all that God is, that infinite, expanding presence, as together we say, and so it is. I'm just gonna pass it. You can hold it.
I'm zapping it.
And I know everything in these baskets is blessed because we, God as us, gave. And that energy of God as us as it moves in our world fills up everything. So it fills up this room from the floor to the ceiling and all between the walls. This air is permeated, penetrated, and filled with the essence of Spirit as us. And as Spirit moves in our lives, it touches us, it blesses us, and it heals us. And it goes on around this planet, and let's take a moment and focus on Paris, on that amazing cathedral, and all of the people involved in that. And just know that all is well in the world. no matter what the form is. Form always changes. That energy touches and blesses every being on this planet, always touching every one of us tonight, everyone who has ever been here, and everyone yet to come. And so it is.
Hi, I'm Barbara Waterhouse.
And I'm John Waterhouse. Thank you for watching this message today.
Through our website, cslasheville.org, we have over 1,000 messages, classes, and New Thought books, all to download at no charge to anyone.
Producing this incredibly valuable collection of ideas is really making a difference in the world. It's changing lives everywhere.
Please go to our website, cslasheville.org, and click the Donate button. You can support this life-changing ministry, and when you do, we'll send you a note of thanks and also put you on our daily prayers.
By doing this, you're helping to raise the consciousness of people across the entire globe. We're changing lives together, those lives that are being more prosperous, more healthy, and more joyous. Thank you for being a part of this important work and supporting what we do here at CSL Asheville.
Thank you.